Hi folks, welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the mighty Jingles. We're still on the 7.5 test server, and yes, your eyes are not deceiving you, that is a T-62A. It's Russian tier 10 medium tank, and isn't she a beauty? I really like the look of that tank. It's basically a buffed T-54. It's kind of weird. It's buffed in some respects. It's kind of nerfed in other respects. It seems to have the same sloping angling as the T-54. In fact, let's compare them side by side. As you can see, that it is a bigger target, but not much bigger. It's got the same highly sloped, rounded, angled, bouncy turret, which is a good thing. The sloping of the armour at the front looks exactly the same, but that weak lower plate is a very small target, and the angle on it is just, most things that hit that are probably going to bounce off unless you're coming up over the ridge of a hill, presenting a flatter angle. So, you know, the frontal protection, I mean, the armour isn't technically, I mean, 102mm on this, T-54 120. Well, with penetration on the guns like that, it doesn't matter whether you've got 120, 102 or 180. Most of these guns are going to get through. The actual thickness of the armour on tanks at this level is really only of benefit against lower tier tanks shooting at you. The top dogs are always going to get through your armour. Nowadays, it's not about the thickness, it's about the slope and the angling. And the T-62A pretty much has that covered. You're still going to get penetrated, and it's more about driving the thing properly, get yourself into positions where they can't shoot at you, or they're going to have a difficult shot at you, rather than rolling up in front of them and having to see who's got the thickest armour contest, because you will lose. And that's what medium tanks have always been good at, whereas the heavies were kind of limited into lumbering around and just exchanging fire. The mediums were always about getting around, using the terrain to your advantage, popping up in spots where nobody expected you to be, taking those shots into the side and rear and then getting out. And this is very, very good at that. It turns like you wouldn't believe. It can rotate on the spot in like 2 seconds. It's so quick to turn. Well, crew skills. Obviously, I'm on the test server. It's 10 times XP. So I've only played 4 games in this thing, and my crew are already at 64% XP. I've gone with repairs on the commander because nothing else really. I mean, it's already got 400-meter view range, so recon was whatever. On the gunner, definitely want snapshot. This thing is a very accurate gun, and firing on the move, anything that improves that is a must-have. I would definitely go for snapshot on this thing. With the driver, I've gone for smooth ride, just to increase accuracy on the move. And the loader, well, the loaders only get perks rather than skills, so they're useless until they hit 100%. So I've just gone for repairs on him. This thing gets tracked, it tends to get peppered. So I like to have repairs on most of my tanks, unless they're tank destroyers, in which case I tend to go for camouflage. And that's basically what I've done with the crew skills. Your mileage may vary. Modules, well, I don't want to spend all my cash on the test server because I want to buy other tier 10 medium tanks. So I've slapped on improved ventilation and a medium caliber tank gun runner. It has a 9.9 rate of fire, and that's going to be almost a second quicker reload. So yeah, lovely. Let's see how the game played. Hi guys, here we are. We're on Arctic in the T-62A, as promised. There are an awful lot of Jagdpanzer E100s on the test server. There is not nearly as many of the tier 10 mediums that I expected to see. There's a lot of Batchats, but a lot of people already had Batchats at tier 9, so they're trying them out, the tier 10 versions here on test. But there's a lot more people driving the Jagdpanzer E100s and the Object 268s. I haven't seen many of the T110 E3s or E4s yet, but the E100 tank destroyer and the Object 268s, they're all over the place. Seen a lot of tier 9 mediums, which is, well, I suppose people with them are grinding out to get the tier 10 versions, but mostly it's T-62As and Batchats. Although I am the only T-62A in the battle in this one. There is an M48A1 on the other team. He doesn't do quite well. But I'm very pleasantly surprised to see I am quite easily keeping up with this T-54. So the speed difference and the engine power isn't that much of a difference. Certainly not as much of a difference as I was expecting it to be, so that's good to see. There's a couple of Batchats over there, but I don't have an angle at either of them. Here we go, seeing lots and lots of tier 9 mediums. Not that many tier 10s. Although I expect that situation will change after a few days on the test server. Batchats everywhere though. So, right, I'm gonna... That Batchat's stuck in the middle there. Let's not let him get away. And this really is a great gun. Look at how quickly it aims.
Nice shot.
I mean, oh yeah, look at that.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Dispersion on it seems a little unpredictable. I mean, if you watch when I'm shooting in sniper view, you'll see how the shots deviate from the centre of the aiming circle. Not by a huge amount, but just enough to make long-range shots a bit dubious. It's not a bad gun though, definitely not. So what we're going to try and do here is get around and break up this attack on the corner. These guys who've committed themselves here, the Super Pershing, the M48, the KV5, the VK4502, we're going to hammer them from both sides. I really, really appreciate the rate of fire of this gun. Yep, so much for the Super Pershing. There's a couple of shots here don't penetrate, but well, some of them just miss. And a couple hit at steep angles and bounce off. So. But generally speaking, anything I shoot at a flat angle, this gun goes through it.
That one bounced.
Except for that one. And I think the M48 gets a good hit into me right about now. Yep, there he goes. 400 damage. And this E50 behind me does his level best to try and get me killed by blocking me.
Punched right through their armor. Enemy armor is damaged.
I seem to be doing a lot of 0 damage penetrating hits, which is kind of frustrating. Oh, there goes a 230. Now that Object 268 is, I don't know at this point, but he is actually backing away. So he still has his gun pointing towards me. And then, whoa, that's a lot of tank destroyers. Get the hell out of there. Let him shoot that E50 instead. I don't know how he survived that. And as you can see, the lower frontal plate of the E100, even in its tank destroyer form, is just as squishy as you'd expect. But watch how quickly this thing turns. Look at this. Look at that. That thing could do a full circle in 2 seconds. And it pivot turns as well. It rotates on the spot. And look at it move. This is a good tank. It's a worthy successor to the T-54. The turret turns really quickly. The tank turns really quickly. It aims really quickly. The rate of fire is excellent. Low-ish alpha damage, 320, but you can get that in the T-54 anyway, so you can get used to it if you're, if you're a T-54 driver. But it pumps the shots out. Look how quick it is. Yeah, this one very, very bouncy frontal armour on the 268. I'm not going to hang around in front of him. But look how quickly you can stop, shoot, and then get underway again.
We've hit them hard.
Hanging around in front of GW Panthers is bad for your health, but I can turn inside him faster than he can track me. Let's go and get another rain as well. Objects on 16%, 7%, he's about to die. This was a good team. Boom, there you go. So, yeah, that was the T-62A. And as you can see, it can do really, really well. 16 shots fired, 14 at the target. It's not normally something you see on the T-54. I took 2 big old hits, dropped me down to about 50% health, a 300 and 400 damage hit. And you've got to expect that in 7.5 with the new tank guns. Okay, I mean, everybody's using gold ammo here on the test server. I mean, I'm not, because I wanted to see how my gun performed against the tanks I can expect them to be facing on the live server. You can guarantee pretty much everybody else is using gold, but with they don't need it. With the penetration that these new guns are doing, it's not about your armor, it's about your angling, it's about your sloping, it's about reading the battlefield and not popping up in the obvious spots where the enemy tanks are going to expect you to pop up. It's about not getting shot at and putting yourself in the position where the enemy can't shoot at you, but you can shoot at them. And that's what medium tank driving is all about. And that's how you don't get hit, rather than trying to, hope your armor is going to stop it. Because with these guns, your armor is not going to stop it. And the T-62A feels like it's going to be very, very good in that environment. So, well, that was the replay. It was a really fun game. I've had quite a few fun games in the T-62A tonight, but that's probably the best result I've had in one. Just getting used to the way the tank plays, and I'm really liking it. Hope you guys will too. So that was the video. Hope you enjoyed it. More to follow.